great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Joe. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hosting me.
Yeah, you bet. So let's begin our journey with this. 6 years ago, this pandemic changed everything. How did you get through the coronavirus era, and how has it changed the way that you live your life today?
So I'll actually start on the personal side. About 14 years ago, I met my now husband,
Yeah.
who it was both of our second marriages. And so he had adult-ish kids at the time, like not really adult, like, high school, college. So like very, very young adults.
Yeah.
And so I did not have my own kids, and I was thrilled to kind of be part of their life and meet their mom and blend family. That's how I grew up. So that was all good. And we did holidays and vacations, and that was lovely, but they were kind of off living their lives. We didn't like household. And in COVID, they were all young professionals in New York, and they were like, well, this seems expensive and overrated. Why don't we go home?
Yeah.
And so for 6 to 18 months, the three of them, plus one of their now fiancés, about to be wife this week, actually, came and lived with us. And so instead of kind of this holiday vacation relationship, which had gotten, very lovely 8 years later, we householded and we had Taco Tuesday and we had game night on Saturday. And so now, they obviously moved on and moved back out and as it should be. But we have this deeper relationship that I'm so grateful for because of this pandemic.
Yeah. Well, it was a really big reset, and I heard a lot of stories like that where, I mean, it could have been a dark path or it could have been something that was going to enliven and embolden who you were as a person.
And maybe both.
True. Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, no matter how well things may have turned out, it was a really weird time that none of us knew
Oh,
how we were going to get out of. And I think the most baffling thing was how it undulated. Like at one point, it was like, all right, it's great. It's summer. We're free. We're good. Let's go. And then the Omicron or whatever came in. And then those variants came in. Then it was really locking things down.
yeah, no, 1,000%. It was, and I am conscious that I don't even remember how weird it was.
Uh-huh.
Right. And how uncertain, because in retrospect, we know that it was weird, but we don't know that we didn't know how
Yeah.
weird it was going to get every day. Yeah.
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 My wife actually asked me yesterday, she was like, "You're still asking that question?" And I'm like, people really actually take to it and it's really still relevant. And as much as it's in the rear view mirror and we've forgotten details, it was such a shapeshifter. Because it's not like, what were how did the shuttle explosion in 86 affect you?
Right.
Or even 9/11 at this point.
Right.
But this is still relatively recent enough where it did change the trajectory of so many things.
And credit to you, I think, for still talking it over, right? I don't think that that's kind of dark or boring or any, I don't know what your wife is
Yeah,
implying, but
I
but
th
I think we
yeah,
need to process it, right?
we
We
do.
need to make sense of it, especially because what I see is, the professional side of it for me was that I ran these in-person deep transformational programs about purpose for the 15 years leading up to 2020. And obviously those ground to a halt. And so we started doing webinars like everybody. We took it to Zoom. And, Joe, let me tell you, hundreds of people poured into those purpose in a pandemic Zooms in a way that people had not before, right? Because it provided some boredom and time at home, but also, I think, the provocation to think more deeply about it. And so I had some real optimism at the beginning of like, oh my gosh, this is collectively waking us up to the fact that we are, not to be too blunt, but kind of wasting our lives doing things that don't matter in really unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
And here's a moment to literally look ourselves in the mirror, work surrounded by our children as mirrors, and
Mhm.
think about what this life really is.
Yeah.
Fast forward 6 years in a week or two,